So welcome to the Uncommon Talks.
So welcome to Uncommon Talks. Today we have Bhagyashree, not the actress, but the leading actress in Meraki. So hi Bhagyashree. So
Hi.
Please tell us about Meraki. Like I read about it, the meaning of Meraki is putting your soul into the work.
Yeah.
What else is there?
See, Meraki, we are almost a decade-old company, and right from the name, as it suggests, Meraki is something. It's a Greek word which means creativity, soul put into your work, something which is done soulfully. So when I was right from the inception, when we were setting up this company, it was like, the name has to be something very different. Though now I see that Meraki is a very common name, but when I started this venture, I could hardly find that word anywhere.
Okay.
So we are a complete integrated communication group, right from the PR to digital marketing to events and a complete brand strategy. So be it a multinational, SME, startup, government bodies, we have been addressing and servicing all of them now very efficiently, more than a decade now.
Right.
So to name few brands, we have serviced Panasonic, Jindal, GMR, Belgium Embassy, and a lot more. A lot of international EdTech clients, hospitality, travel, and all of the domains.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we talk about your clients and the most interesting projects, let's talk about what do you actually do. Like some people might not know कि PR क्या होता है, like PR क्या है, you must be knowing digital marketing क्या होता है, right? And there is traditional form of marketing. So Meraki, like Bhagyashree said, is a hybrid model. So जो print media है and there is digital media and advertising and PR. So can you explain about PR? What kind of steps are there and processes are there? What should one know before?
So before we talk about PR also, it's very important that we understand about branding.
Okay.
So PR is one of the tools, one of the most efficient and important tools of branding, right? So PR is a non-paid form of publicity, right? Wherein the media, wherein the people, they start talking about you.
Right.
So when we talk about a startup or when we talk about any company that is coming up, we try to position them as an industry expert, as the relevant product line with the leading players into the market. So now the PR is it's not only about media positioning, but it's about it's a need right from the first day of your inception. So even a small startup, which is a 2-person startup, or a big company, they need PR. So, it's the media talking about you, rightfully positioning you in the right direction. So, we create people's spokesperson profile. We make the media understand what exactly you're doing about. So it's not only advertorial, which is like there is no end to marketing. Advertorial का कोई अंत नहीं है, ठीक है? आप कितना भी उसमें invest करते जाएं, there is no end limit to it. But PR is a systematic positioning of your brand in front of the audience and in front of the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is marketing, then there is branding, and under branding there is PR as a part.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So PR is public relations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is it required that public relations में ये मीडिया को जो हम बुलाते हैं, so that interviewing and questioning that goes on, उसमें जो हम guest या फिर जो company होती है who is interviewing, right, उनको हम questions scripted form में देते हैं और all of them are scripted or candid, वो कैसा चलता है? Do you handle the personality because you are making a brand, you're making one person a brand. Let's say for example Diljit Dosanjh. He's married, but many people don't know that. They look at him like a bachelor only, single guy, a jolly, simple, a sweet, innocent guy. But he might not be. I mean, Diljit Paji ko koi nahi, sorry, but still, क्या वो possible है कि वो scripted होती हैं चीजें? उनका PR उनको identity देता है कि this will be your identity, this is how you're gonna carry yourself, this is how you're gonna speak.
So absolutely, as the name suggests, public relation and media perception So when we talk about brand, so there are two different things. One is a spokesperson profiling, that is the person behind the brand, and then one is the brand itself. So when we make any product, हम एक product के लिए एक certain persona create करना चाहते हैं. When we create a certain persona for the product, at the same time, we want to create a certain persona for the person behind the product, right? So that's how we come into picture as a media consultant to rightfully position the brand into the market and to rightfully position the person as the rightful person for that product line as an industry expert.
Right.
So media is a very serious affair, right? So I'll not call it scripted, but I'll talk about moving in the right direction. So, for example, Diljit Dosanjh, you saying, it's not important when we're talking about his professional life, it's not important for people, for him also to be marketed whether he is married or not married, For certain people, that might be important for him to know what he is into his personal life. Right. But right now, he is focusing more on his professional career. He is doing a PR for his professional career. He is not. Personal life is something which nobody would like, neither me or you would like to be, focused in front of the public. So that's something that we would like to maintain, that kind of a cocoon or that kind of a mirror in front of the audience. Right. So we want to project the professional front of the people in front of the people, that how that brand or that professional things is doing in the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you believe which is a better one, like candid self or the right directional self, the best self, the person you make, the brand thing?
I think both. So it depends on the platform that you are in, right? So candid is always natural, it's always good. And I believe in that personally. But when we talk about product, when we talk about platform, there are different platforms. When we talk about international platforms, when we talk about international forums, when we talk about different things, you need to be well prepared, and nothing comes without preparation and hard work. So it is very important that you're clear about what you're speaking and in what direction you're going. Right. So both has its own importance, and I think there will be places where candid is always good. So yeah.
Just like the podcast.
Yeah, actually.
Okay, so coming back to you. Yeah. So what was your story behind it? Any struggles?
My story, yeah.
You left home, you started with small work.
God. So, no very masaledar story as such. But it's like it's like a podcast kind of a thing wherein we are going absolute candid, like you and me. Yeah.
Right.
So I come from a very small town, Dhanbad. I did my schooling from Mount Carmel. I hail from a very good business family there. We have our theaters and hotels and stuff, whatever. So, but yeah, right from the beginning, I was a very creative girl, and not because I'm a Gemini like you, but I love exploring things and knowing about new things, you know.
Right.
So, right from my childhood, everybody was like, you're not made for Dhanbad. You're not made for Dhanbad. My teacher used to come, he was like, you're not a Dhanbad material. So, it was like that. But I don't know how my sister came to Delhi, and then gradually a complete family shifted. My dad is in Supreme Court, he's a lawyer here. Then we have a business here also. And then I came to college, and I did my English honors because I was always into debates and extempores, and I was very nice in it. So that's the reason my English teacher told me that you should do English honors rather than the traditional thing. And that's how my fascination for the language drove me there. I did from DU, then my master's, and then I landed into my job. And then would you like to know about how I started Meraki?
Yes.
Yeah. So then I went to do my first job, which was Yatra.com. I was working there, and wherein I've handled the best of the clients like Benetton, Panasonic, and my first job, but I never felt like a first job because of my confidence or whatever, I don't know what, but that's how it drove me. Then suddenly I went to pitch one of my clients. I would not like to name that but right now, but I went to pitch, and during my pitch, I was absolutely pitching with my full confidence, and he's a very experienced person, looking continuously at me. For 1 hour, I kept on saying and talking to him, talking continuously, and then suddenly he's like, why don't you start your own business? And I'm like, okay, yeah.
All right, sir. Okay, bye.
Yes. And then that gave me a food for thought that yes, and I could do something in a different direction. And that's how the journey started. And he absolutely acted as my mentor, and then he guided me in every path. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think your family background has also shaped you in a way to take this kind of risk?
To be very honest, absolutely. More than my family background, I would say that it's my father, who has actually been a real hero. It's not just for heck of saying, but the way he has brought all three of us, my brother, me and my sister, has absolutely been different. And he has always taught us to be opinionated, to be absolutely fearless, and to do what we want. And right from the beginning, I remember we have taken decisions of our own, that what is right and wrong. We have, whenever there was a situation and we felt that whether we should take this decision or that decision, he always stood by us and said, what would be your decision? What do you think? This is black or gray? What do you think? It was right from the beginning. I remember when I was like 7 or 8, since that time he has taught me and then guided me. No, I think if this is gray, then why this is gray? So he's always guided us, and that's the reason I am today what I am. It's just because of my father, who has actually taught me to move in the right direction. And that's the reason I'm more confident. And though hailing from a very small town, but still, even in Delhi, I never felt that I am by any chance less but above people. So, I mean, I'm not above, but, it's like, I never felt inferior in any sense, I mean to say. Yeah.
So, Meraki being your baby.
Yeah.
So what was your first steps towards Meraki? What was your vision about it and the mission you are on right now?
So, like very rightfully said, Meraki being your baby. So what it reminded me that my mentor, when I was starting my business, he said that, Bhagyashree, remember that when you start your business, you're giving birth to a child. Okay, and still those words absolutely trigger in my mind, that you're giving birth to a child. Once you've given birth to a child, you cannot abandon it. You cannot make it an orphan, right? So be whatsoever. So this thing was there in my mind right from the beginning. So when I started, despite of the fact that I started from, one seat in a business center, every day 9:30, I used to make sure that I was in the office, irrespective of the fact that I have anything to work or not. But from day one, I had 2 employees with me also. Okay. And they were working for me, and I used to make sure, and I felt always that I was working for a multinational, and this is a multinational. I don't know how people have, made up their organization, but from day one, I had that culture for my own self and for the 2 people that I had. Okay.
That's what we have. Like CTO. We actually made it like that. Like for the Uncommon Talks also.
Yeah.
Like founder CTO.
Yeah.
So he's a technical and executive guy.
Yeah.
So like that we are also on time, like not today on time, but yeah.
But that's how you have to feel, and that's how I think you grow, because nonetheless you're not lesser than anyone.
Right.
That's a kind of a zeal and a session that
talking to
you
right
have.
Now, it feels like we're on a right path.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, and I really like the confidence that you guys have, and that's really which I see myself in you people. When I started, so it's wonderful. Yeah.
So you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
To interrupt.
So that's what I mean. It's something what I felt that that Meraki is my baby and I cannot abandon, and that's what was there in my mind. I could abandon anybody in my personal life, but not my work whatsoever. Right. So yeah, that's how it has kept me going.
Yeah, I understand. I've dropped a lot of dates because of that. So yeah. So what is your mission right now? Like, what's your future ideas for the Meraki? So before talking about the future, sorry.
Yeah.
What's been your most interesting project? Like जहाँ पे आपने पूरा ऐसे innovation, experimentation, risk लिया है and you didn't know कि ये चलेगा नहीं चलेगा.
A lot of them. In fact, let me tell you.
Every day.
every day. I mean, it's so tough right from the day we started till today. Every project that we pick up, every MD that we meet, because, like the way I am saying it's my baby, every managing director that we are meeting, it's a baby for them, and
Right.
it's a new baby being born every day.
Right.
So it's like, the same, because we are into a very serious business. We are making brands, and it works, it fails. Beauty is something which lies in the eye of the beholder. Creative line is something, today you might like something which is blue is great for you. Blue might be pathetic for the other person sitting there.
Totally.
And it's very difficult to convince the other person sitting towards the other side. But I've seen one thing, ki good is a universal good. That might be a bit of a deviation, but अच्छी चीज सबको अच्छी लगती है. At least to a one step right,
अच्छी चीज या सुंदर चीज?
Sundarta to it depends from person to person, So for somebody, looks can be beautiful. For somebody, the soul can be beautiful. So similarly with our creative and brand strategy also, the overall story behind the brand is what matters me as a marketer, of what communication we are trying to project. The creative might not be that beautiful. Like, for example, Cred, what are they doing? They're just saying now they're marketing that, a simple black or an iPhone, a simple white, and then they just write their brand. It's a brand recall value which is being created. So, it depends, But as a consultant, it's the soul of the product which matters, and what is the story behind the brand that you're trying to project that matters.
Right. Rightly said, because let's take the example of Apple only.
Yeah.
So there's brand perception, there's self-perception of that brand.
Yeah.
When you own Apple, what do you feel? And mostly people buy Apple because of that only.
Yeah.
That perception and that self-enhancing value which they get after they buy the product.
Yeah.
And about the Steve Jobs, we knew what kind of guy he was.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
But very getting into integrities and a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He used to sit hours and hours just to make one icon.
Yeah.
And he did a calligraphy class for this particular thing also.
Yeah.
So story, brand, then brand perception and the self-perception for the customer.
Yeah.
That's what you create, the whole thing.
Absolutely, the complete channel. So for example, I'll give you two very examples, like a Nike and a Hyatt, for example. Nike is a brand which has created a brand perception altogether. And when we talk about Hyatt, it's a beautiful brand. We know it's a beautiful property, but there is no storyline behind the brand. Right? When we talk about Nike, when we talk about Nike, which is into shoes, which has developed a emotional connect, a motivational connect with people. If we know that Nike is coming up with a hotel, we would know how Nike would come in terms of the hotel line.
And the mentality of it.
The mentality of it, the brand perception and the story that Nike has created all over. But when we talk about Hyatt, and Hyatt is going to come into a shoe line, we don't know how the shoe would look like, because the brand perception and the story behind the brand is missing. So the cult or the pulse of any brand, I think, is the story behind the brand and the synonym that the brand is trying to create, that's what matters. And I think Apple to a stage has reached that people just buy Apple for the brand value. It's not about the features or the product value that it is giving, but it is about the brand perception and the imagery that Apple has created over the years.
Exactly.
So that's what makes a difference.
Yeah. So one of my CEOs, he had an international travel startup, Akash Chaudhary. So I was working under him. So he told me that sales is just not sales. Sales is more like selling a dream, selling a story. So you tell a person a story, like we made a ZNMD trip, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara wala trip.
Yeah.
And I was selling it.
Yeah.
And also marketing it.
Yeah.
So he used to tell me that ये नहीं बताना है कि 10 दिन का ट्रिप है, ये बताना 10 दिन की ट्रिप में तुम करने क्या वाले हो. Not the itinerary. Group of people you don't know. Maybe it can be your friends, 4 or 5 friends, but other 10 people might not be your friends, right? 10 days, different country, 3 different places, Barcelona, then there is Valencia and Madrid. Then there is the experience. You take them back to that movie when they do the scuba diving, skydiving, all the bar hopping, everything else. That's how you sell it.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them the itinerary. कि आज इस दिन के बाद ये करेंगे, इस दिन के बाद ऐसे करेंगे, ये तारीख को ये होगा. नहीं, dream beach. So that's what he told me.
Very true. I absolutely buy that. It's absolutely the pulse, the story behind any product line that matters. It's not the product. I think every other product is similar. There's the story and the brand value, which लोग आजकल नहीं, आजकल तो मैं कहूँगी कि बहुत awareness हो गया है लोगों में branding को लेकर के. That's the reason आज एक one room startup or a 1% startup also approaches us. So we are not only serving the multinationals and the SMEs, but we are serving the startups also, because from day one they're concerned about the imagery. But there was a time wherein people just believed on word of mouth publicity, but that doesn't work right now. Every product is I think there might be a one USP, but it's how differentially you are marketing that. That's what makes it different.
Right. So you are a hybrid model, right?
Yeah.
Being online and then there is offline print media.
Absolutely.
Do you do any kind of guerrilla marketing?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we have our respective team
for that.
Doing for that. Yeah.
Okay. Like I saw a very good example of that for Kit Kat ad. The benches were painted like Kit Kat sticks. So do you, that kind of things also?
Yeah. We have a complete solution for marketing. So that is absolutely there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what should one do to start their own this kind of startup? What should they learn about first? English communication, not just English communication. And I believe communication is just not about the language, and it's more about how you communicate your thoughts. And one should understand, the person in front of you should understand what you're trying to communicate. That's what consists of a communication, not just the language. English or Hindi, वो matter नहीं करता.
See, it's not about this business. I think the mantra of starting any business remains the same, is your zeal, your vision, what you want to do, and something that you reciprocate to naturally. I think, if you're passionate about something and that comes from within, and if you can complement that with your profession, nothing like it.
Okay.
Many a time people had a thought process कि आप अपने passion को अपना profession नहीं बना सकते. Like my dad, he's a very good singer, but he never made singing a profession, but he kept it as a side thing, and which he maintains till date, which is a very good thing. He had his own band and everything, you know. So until this date, he maintains things for as a hobby. But I think when your passion reciprocates your profession, I think you'll be able to justify more and feel good about it. So it's most important that you're disciplined and you're focused. And initially, all the youngsters, when we all start, one thing which is lacking is consistency and focus. So it is very important that under all situation, you just stick by what you have to do. There will be people, in fact, there will be only people who will just not believe in your dream, but it is you who have to believe first, and you need to work fast and dedicatedly towards it, and I think one will be able to make it.
Right. And what kind of brand identity are you trying to give Meraki since the start, since the inception of it?
Like very rightfully I said right in the beginning that from day one, I never felt that I'm a startup. I felt that I'm an MNC. And that's the feeling that I still have it. And I tell my people also to feel the same thing, that feel that as if you own the brand. And I don't know, but this is something which I always speak to my people, that I really want you to be what you are. And when you start feeling, you start creating brands that you're supporting in the same way, and what they are and what they feel. So that's what I feel, and that's what I feel for my brand also.
Okay.
So yeah, I want every individual and every employee to own the brand. So yeah.
And what is Meraki like? in brand identity wise? Like, what's the USP of it? Because there are a lot of big bulls out there
Yeah.
in the ad industry who
Yeah.
are making big bucks also and everything else.
Yeah.
Right? You're also making big bucks,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
But what's your USP?
See, one thing, of course, they rightfully said that there are a lot of players and there are a lot of international players. But let me tell you, just not to name anyone, but we have replaced a lot of international players at a lot of forums. Not just because of anything else, but because of our quality of work and the kind of a personalized approach that we give. That has been a USP throughout. And I think that's how we have created a position in the market, and that's how people know us. That अगर मिराकी के पास कोई काम है तो मिराकी पूरी शिद्दत के साथ वो काम करेगी. Right? There has been failures, there will be, but failures are always the first step to learning.
Right.
So I think that has been our key strength and the kind of a personalized approach that, and the best part is I never have to tell my team to do that. कि आपको extra hours देने हैं, मुझे पता भी नहीं होता, but I see my team wherever required, they are responding to messages at 3 o'clock at night. And I am not the one that why you're not working 10 to 7. I'm absolutely not of that thought process. Till the time my client is happy, my team is happy, I am happy. And I want them to lead things in their own way. That's what my focus has been. I have tried my best, rest.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're more of a productive person. Like, let's say, mostly companies in India are focusing on duration. 8 hours काम. या फिर अगर तुम 8 hours से ऊपर कर रहे हो, even though you're not getting paid for the overtime, 8 hours से अगर ऊपर कोई काम कर रहा है, 10 घंटे इंसान काम कर रहा है, ये अच्छा एम्प्लॉय है.
No, not at all.
Or it's like Google. काम करा, you're done. If you're good at work, you finished your work, you can go home. You can do
honestly,
anything.
I don't know. My team will be a better person to say that. But honestly, I would have never called my team 10 o'clock in the morning, whether you're logged in or not, whether you're working or not, or 6 o'clock at night, what is your productivity for the day? I've never done that in my complete tenure. But one thing I've told, that this is, you have to owe the brand. And if you owe the brand, the client should be happy. The client is the hero, the client should be happy. And you have to make the client happy. So, and fortunately, by God grace, my team is superb, and I have always seen my team to take accountability of their own clients and people, and I've seen them work by their own self. I really don't know, there may be the days when they don't work, and then there are days I've seen them working till whatever, all Saturdays, Sundays. So,
right.
I don't believe in hours. I
Right.
think knowledge can compensate, handsome, but handsome cannot compensate knowledge. So,
Right.
merit. So that's something I think a meritful person can complete a work in just a fraction of second, and
Right.
it will take hours for a person. I think अगर हमें 8 घंटे से ज़्यादा stretch करना पड़े, वो हमारी inefficiency है.
Exactly.
वो हमारी inefficiency है, ना कि
But इसको
किसी और
लोग
की.
इंडिया में मानते हैं कि नहीं, वो
This is
hard working is not
this is a
always
taboo.
effective working, efficient working.
Absolutely. I
That is
absolutely
like
agree.
BS.
I am like, you complete that work in half an hour, please leave if you want. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what.
But
we
the
should
client and your ultimate goal should be achieved. That's what is important as a business owner and a business custodian. That all we want. I don't
do.
believe
Happy
in desk
client,
job.
generating revenue. That's it.
Absolutely. You should understand the crux of the business. That's what is important. Doesn't matter you sit here or you're sitting in London.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies have shifted to that now.
Yeah. In fact, I think pandemic has brought a lot of change in the working culture, and I think at last the result is more important.
And they can see the boom in the productivity and the results also.
Absolutely.
There was a study in France also. So they did a study like, if you work for 4 days and just 5 to 6 hours, you're more productive than a guy who is working 7 days.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like you play all day. If I tell you कि अभी नहीं पढ़ना है, पूरा दिन आप पढ़ो, आपको कुछ नहीं समझ आएगा.
True.
Right? And if you play whole day, वो चीज़ खत्म. Like there was a philosopher Osho.
Yeah.
He used to say, like, push to everything, the last limit of it. जो भी करना है लाइफ में.
Yeah.
कर लोगे, उसके बाद कुछ बचेगा नहीं.
Very true.
उसके बाद तुम फोकस के लिए किसी भी चीज़ पे फोकस कर सकते हो. Whatever you want to do. Because अगर एक ही चीज़ पे फोकस कर रहे हो, एक तो वो तुम्हारे अंदर वो वाला चीज़ लेके आता है हैबिट, और लेट्स से नेचर इंस्टिंक्ट वैसे लेके आता है कि तुम एक ही चीज पे फोकस कर रहे हो. सो व्हेनेवर यू डू प्लेइंग यू प्ले, व्हेन यू डू स्टडीइंग यू स्टडी. तब मिक्स नहीं होना चाहिए दिमाग में.
True.
Right? So we have talked about the USP. We talked about Meraki. So like I've heard about advertising industry थोड़ा dirty work ज़्यादा होता है. मुझे वो समझ नहीं आया था कभी.
There's nothing, see, I believe there's nothing like dirty work or good work. It's about your own ethics maybe.
Way of working.
Way of working, that what matters. And otherwise, every line is dirty, every line is good. So that doesn't matter.
So you also have...
कहने वाले तो कहते रहेंगे.
लोगों का काम है कहना.
कहना.
Right. So how do you perceive Meraki?
Perceive.
Like perceive. What's your perception about Meraki? Like a brand, like Nike. If you say Nike, everything pops up like an athlete who's just gonna make it to the finish line. If you talk about Adidas, it's kind of the same thing, right? If you talk about Apple, it's about perfection, status, right? So what's about Meraki?
So Meraki, like I told right in the beginning, it's about creativity. As the tagline says, key to innovation. So we believe in innovating a new storyline, a new direction, and setting up the right path for the brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your most interesting experiment or innovation till date? You can say the brand name XYZ and you can give us the story.
A lot of them. I mean, there was, I'll not name a brand, there was a very small startup which we did, and that was a air purification company that we did. And right in the first week, I think, we placed it next to the leading players of the market. And then that brand received a hell lot of applaud and hell lot of response just within a week's time of starting the work. So that was something which was a very sense of awe and a great achievement for us as a team. There are many stories, but this is one that really had a very good response in the market. So
Right.
yeah, so that's one thing which I always remember, and the brand owners and the custodians were very happy because of that. So that happiness in the eye of the people which made us feel more good about it.
Okay, so can we go into the integrities of it? Like, what exactly did you do?
So we did a complete integrated solution to right from the PR to digital everything. So with a complete brand positioning, and there was some launch activity which we had organized, and the launch event went a great success, and how it was perceived by the complete people that were there, and the response and the orders that we received was huge. And
Okay.
yeah, that's how that event was a great success.
Okay, a lot of brand popped up in my head
And okay,
because you said April Fair. A lot of brand popped up.
yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? A brand is bigger or the brand person who is running it? Like let's say Steve Jobs and Apple only again, because सबको वो example पता है, तो Steve Jobs का भी उतना ही नाम था जितना Apple का नाम था. So in a collaboration वो चलते थे.
So you're asking me in context of Meraki?
Yes.
See, it's what I believe a brand is about the people behind the brand. So एक brand को उसके लोग ही बनाते हैं. So if there are right people, right product, the brand moves in a right direction, the brand creates right visibility. So जिस शिद्दत के साथ आप brand बनाते हैं वो मायने रखता है. So I think it's the people which makes the brand.
Right. Okay. ये तो बहुत diplomatic answer.
That's what we are known for. That's what I told you. Shoot, I'm gonna answer it.
But ये तो definitely, पर ये तो PR वाला आंसर हुआ ना. Actual. अच्छा, आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है Meraki बोलते हैं? What should a person think?
See, I am always approached via Meraki. So, Bhagyashree is not approached. Personal circle is different.
Obviously.
But when we talk about professional circle, obviously Bhagyashree is approached via Meraki.
So
when I say Meraki, it's Meraki. Meraki has made Bhagyashree. But it's Bhagyashree's hard work which is involved in making Meraki. So it's the people behind. And it's not only me. It's actually my complete team, not me. Yeah.
So when we say Meraki, or any person in the industry who says Meraki, let's call Meraki. So they are thinking about something more innovative, more unique,
More dedicated,
More dedicated.
more unique, more personalized.
most personalized. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think. A personalized approach. It's the people behind any work, and it's a personalized approach which makes the complete activity more
Obviously.
insightful.
So if you can change one or two things when you started until date, ऐसी कौन सी एक्टिविटी, ऐसा कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट, या फिर ऐसा कौन सा एक स्टेप होगा, या कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एनीथिंग जो आपको चेंज करना का भी मन है कि पास में अगर मैं जा सकती, इफ आई वुड हैव गिवन माई सेल्फ एडवाइस कि भाग्यश्री ये नहीं करना है, इसको ऐसे नहीं, इसको ऐसे करना है, दैट वन थिंग और टू मे बी, वो कौन सी ऐसी लर्निंग होती है, कौन सा एक्सपेरिमेंट, या फिर कौन सा जॉब या कुछ भी होता प्रोफेशनली, या और इवन योर बैकग्राउंड इन योर स्टोरी, इन योर लाइफ स्टोरी, लाइक कोई एक पाथ आपने जो सिलेक्ट करा हो कि आपको लगा हो नहीं, इसको थोड़ा बेटर वे में, या तो दूसरा पाथ ले सकती थी, या फिर वो चीज़ बेटर हो सकती थी, और ज़्यादा बेटर तो हमेशा हो सकती है ऑब्वियसली.
Honestly, I've never thought like that, and I'm a very positive person, and I don't know, it's very difficult, or it's not being diplomatic. But मेरे लाइफ में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मैं रिग्रेट
करते हो. नहीं, रिग्रेट
नहीं हूँ, very honestly.
Okay.
It's like because I have learned this one thing since my beginning, which my dad has taught me, that decision लेने के पहले 100 लोगों से पूछिए, आपने एक बार decision ले लिया है, whatsoever, just stand by it. And I think every decision that I've taken, I've stood by it, and every plus and minuses that has been there, that has been the course of learning, and nothing as such that I regret. No, nothing as such.
Okay. Do you believe that there's a statement by someone, I don't know. So you don't ever take right or wrong decisions.
You make it right.
Yeah, you take a decision and make it right. You believe in that. If it's not about ethics and morality and everything else, apart from that.
No, I don't. I'm not a person who takes abrupt decision also, to be very honest. I take a well thought decision, and I try to take a thoughtful step. I try doing that, but there are situations in which we go, sudden also.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm a thoughtful person, and I prefer going in a planned way.
Analytical.
All senses, wherever I can think of.
Okay. And what about any advice to your younger self? Like a 20-year-old Bhagyashree. Any advice to her?
I've been a very upfront girl, very upfront. To an extent that I just speak my heart out. I don't know what the other person is thinking, but not an advice. That is the quality which has made me unique, I think. That is something which has actually made me different. And to my, the days when I was in college also, I met really some big personalities, and I never felt that they are God knows who, and I was just me,
Right.
And the other person smiled at me that, you should realize that where are you sitting, and but that's something which that person liked about me also.
Right.
That she's not trying to please me or somebody, she's just herself.
That's how you should be.
Yeah.
The real you.
Yeah. So nothing. I just loved myself then also, and I love it now also. So yeah.
And I think that's in
That's something
Gemini's
I just,
nature.
yeah. I just love myself. So
All.
yeah.
Yeah. So coming to the end, any inspiring thoughts or any words for the younger generation who wants to get into advertising and everything? What should they learn?
So everybody, I think, it's about the courage to start, and you need to have the courage, and then you have to give and move in the right direction. You need to be focused. You need to show dedication. Things will work, things might not work, but डेडिकेटली एक बार ट्राई करो, सो दैट सारी जिंदगी ये रिग्रेट ना रहे कि मैंने कोशिश नहीं करी. I went for what was normal for everybody, and I just followed that path. When you start, there will be, in fact, I think everybody saying you're not moving in the right direction, but you need to believe in your own self. It's a very, very monotonous line that everybody says, but end of the day, you have to be selfish. You have to be what you like doing, not what the other person expects out of you. If you are not happy, you can never make the person next to you happy. That is applicable in your professional life, and that is applicable to you in personal life as well.
Well said.
So this is one thing that we have to realize. And end of the day, I think in this pandemic, I have realized that it's about being happy. And it's
living.
It's about living and being happy, guys. I mean, it's like, I talk to so many people and I tell it's time to take yourself light. But yes, move in the right direction, put your efforts in the right direction, keep a balance of everything. For all the youngsters, I'll say, keep a balance of everything, stay focused, and just keep constantly moving in the right direction with consistency. And कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है जो आप achieve नहीं कर सकते. Everything is achievable.
Even as a woman?
Yeah, as a woman, then that's a long story. So, yeah, there are...
You must have faced a lot of things.
Yeah, every woman, I think, a lot of things. Because a woman is not only a woman, she's like a lot of things. She's a mother, she's a wife. There's a lot of expectations, You have to manage the house, then everything is expected out of you. There has been times when I'm standing in the kitchen, I'm actually cooking, I'm taking my call, and my kid is crying somewhere. So the complete situation is like that. So, but we have been managing it all sorts. So, yeah.
Yeah. So in the context of that, I believe there are a lot of responsibilities or multitasking going on for the women. There's a reason behind it, because she's the only creation who can take it.
Yeah, absolutely. The kind of a patience she has, I don't think so that anybody on this living creature on this planet, on this earth has that. So,
right.
Yeah. But one thing that I would like to tell, and I tell all my friends also, it's very important to be financially independent. It's very important it's not about what you are earning, it's about being financially independent to do what do you want to be in life. And your happiness matters the most. First, you need to be happy, then you'll be able to make the person sitting next to you happy. Be it your husband, be it your kid, be it your family, anyone. So you need to prioritize yourself first and then anybody else on this earth.
And on this well said statement, we'd like to end this podcast. Thank you so much, Bhagyashree.
Thank you. It was a pleasure connecting and talking to you for a while.
Same here.